Thursday Love. Thursday Love.
Hey, everybody. Hey, everybody. We are on. Thursday Love is here. TJ is here. Woo!
That hurt.
Thank you, Jesus.
My back is sensitive.
You are sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Thursday Love. Welcome to Thursday Love. If you are in and you have tuned in and you turn on, open up your phone and open up your laptop. Am I saying any of that right? No. Okay, hit your share button. Hit your share button. And then after you hit your share button, let us know how you're feeling. Are you having a good day? You feeling okay? Is everything all right? Because we hope that you had a great day. We hope that you had a great Thursday. Did you have a good day?
My day was spiffy.
What's spiffy?
It was a good day.
What's spiffy though?
You act like you 25 years old.
No,
spiffy.
Spiffy. I'm used to spiffy being like clean up or fast or something. I'm just
spick and
asking.
span. Spiffy is good.
Okay, hey, I'm learning. All right, so let us know how you feeling. Hey Sheila, how you doing? How you doing?
Sheila, you need to get your cousin. She said that spiffy means clean. I mean,
what does spiffy mean? I was just asking. You get mad because I was asking you what spiffy
there ain't
means.
a mad bone in my body.
I'm just saying. I was just asking what spiffy means.
And ain't a mad bone in my body.
Okay. Anyway, hey Mario. Hey Dee, how you doing?
Hey Dee.
Really?
What's up, Rio? I'm sorry, Dee.
I hope everybody's feeling good. I hope everybody's had a great week thus so far. We are excited about February. February is not only the love month, but February is also Black History Month.
We shall overcome someday, y'all.
I saw a meme today. A little white boy was talking to a little black boy, and he was basically saying, why do y'all have y'all only celebrate Black History Month for 1 month? And he's like, no, we celebrate Black History Month. Black History all year. And the thing is, he said the Black History Month was just for them. And I thought that was the cutest thing, because really, as African Americans, or however you want to call it, Black people, we celebrate all year. We celebrate who we are all year long. It's just, this is the month that they have carved out to celebrate us. So hey, Shonda, I enjoyed the crooms. But anyway, so before we get started, we normally in February, we do like marriages. We bring couples up here and we highlight a couple for the month because it's love and everything like that. But we didn't want to do that this year. We wanted to highlight our singles. And so we themed this whole February series, Living My Best Life, Living My Best Life. You remember Living Single?
I remember the song Living My Best Life. Yeah, I remember Living Single.
Yeah, well, that's the song Living Single.
Living single. Ooh, it's a 90s kind of world. Just want to be that. I'm glad go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, it's my favorite 90s sitcom. I ain't gonna lie, I still watch the
reruns.
I still watch the reruns to this day. But I love, the thing that gets me is that a lot of people feel like, a lot of single people, not to knock y'all, but we've had single people knock us, like, you don't know how it feels to be single. And I'm like, well, I was single before I got married. And
I was good and single before I got married.
Yeah, and I loved my single life.
Thanks, Sean.
But how many out there remember, for those that are married, how many out there remember when you were single, and how was you living? Was it your best life?
I've been married for so long. I've been with you for so long. I don't know what single looked like.
Don't act like that. Don't act like that. But anyway.
You won't let me be single.
But anyway.
You won't let me be great.
Whatever. Anyway. So we're excited about this series because each week we're going to highlight some amazing people that are going to come up here and talk with us about living their best life. Hey, George. Hey, everybody. So we're truly excited about that. So tonight, before we get started, we want to bring in none other than Mr. Stephen Colonel, and none other than Miss Beautiful and Amazing LaCarla. I call her Carla, but LaCarla, if I'm saying it right, McNair. So we're excited about them. So they're going to tune in with us and they're going to tell us about living their best life. We're going to welcome them. Everybody welcome them. Welcome them.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all.
Is that a Black History blanket behind you? You know what?
It's Afghan. My grandmother did it for me when I was little. It's history because it's older than me. So yeah. How y'all doing tonight?
We good, man.
We good. We good. We good. No, I don't like that either. I'm gonna keep playing with this until I get this like I want it. All right, because I didn't want to put Carl out of the way. So yeah, we're excited that we have some amazing people with us on tonight. So before we get started, before they introduce themselves, we want, because it is Black History Month, we want someone or anyone to give us a Black History Month fact that you didn't learn in school.
Oh,
So not your typical Harriet Tubman and Rosa Parks. Give me something
Give me a Black
History fact that you know, whether it be Steve and Carla or those that are on this line. Give us a Black History fact that you know that you didn't learn in school.
No George Washington Carver, no Frederick Douglass.
No.
Benjamin Banneker.
No.
Mary McLeod Bethune, not even her year. Especially not Luther King or Rosa Parks.
Hold on, I got one.
And no Google.
I gotta Google it. That's how I found it. It was hold on. There was something that was in the light bulb. I gotta find it. Not the light bulb, but something that was inside it.
It's electricity.
No. Hold on. Okay, this was the one. One of the other ones. Dr. Shirley Jackson. She invented the major touch tone telephone and caller ID. So that was one of the Black History facts that I never knew in school. It was a Dr. Shirley Jackson, and she's still alive.
No, Anita. No Kamala Harris either.
Yeah,
That's too recent.
Anita said Kamala Harris.
No.
That's a good one, Anita.
That's it. That's it right there.
That's a good one.
Or Monica Lewinsky, so he know.
That's so funny. Not Monica Lewinsky. Wait a minute.
Right. What?
Oh yeah, that's what I said.
No.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, see, let's just let you know how much we bank on Google and our the same Black History information. Don't get me wrong. Every day I have been seeing new information.
Me too.
But I mean, I haven't memorized it. I don't know these people, but it's so much information. It's so much that was created that they don't talk about in schools. So it's I just wanted to know, and I think I'm gonna do this every Thursday night. I really want to know how many of us really know something without something that we've been taught in school. So yeah.
So did Carla say who? Somebody?
So I got a history facts.
Carla.
I didn't. I don't have a person, but I don't think that in school I learned about Black Wall Street here in Durham.
Yeah.
I don't remember hearing about that in school. I learned about that, being an adult.
Right.
Do you know where the Black Wall Street is in Durham?
Do I know where?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where is it?
Downtown.
You said where?
It's downtown.
Downtown where? Is it deep downtown?
Main Street.
You don't even know. Yeah, it's in the Hayti area. Hayti Airport was part of it, and then you had the banks and stuff that was downtown Durham.
Talking about the Mechanical and Farmers Bank, that street.
That down there, and where the Hayti Center is.
The Hayti Center, that's on Fayetteville.
That's on Fayetteville.
The whole block over there used to be also an area that was very strong, heavily African American businesses.
Okay, all right. Well, I ain't gonna sit here and argue because I don't know.
Right. I didn't even know.
That's so funny.
You wouldn't know you're a Viking.
Uh-oh.
Oh Lord, here we
Wait
go.
a minute.
Well, technically, I'm a Viking and an Eagle. I did go to Central for 2.5 years for grad school.
I made a career out of it, so you still a Viking.
So yeah. But we're excited that y'all have joined in. And for those who are new to Thursday Love, we welcome you. We're glad that you're up here. This is Thursday Love with TJ and Sherrie. For just a short little synopsis of us, Thursday Love is something that God gave TJ and that we're trying to do. Our motto is loving me, loving you, loving us. We do promote healthy marriages, but we also believe in promoting and empowering the individual themselves. That's what goes along with our motto, loving me. We have to learn how to love me first before I can learn how to love you. And then we have to learn how to love us. It's a whole dynamic. So this whole month, we are dedicating to living our best life or living my best life. And so we're highlighting our singles and we want to hear their mind. We want to hear what they have to say. Dating in the 21st century. What are their thoughts about being saved and single? There's so many acronyms out there now. I don't even know half of them, but I didn't grow up in church, so I don't even know nothing about that. But you know, we want to hear from Stephen and Carla and what they had, what they think about it on tonight. And for those that are up here, if you're single, let us hear from you. For those that used to be single, let us know what you used to do and how you used to feel about certain things.
For those who want to be single.
Yeah,
we don't want to hear from you.
Don't share.
We want to chat.
We
want to chat, and we want to talk about this. So before we get started, though, we want Stephen and Carla to just sit and introduce themselves real quick, and then we're gonna go into it.
Carla, you can go first because they know me already, but you can go first.
Ladies first. Ladies first.
Well, I'm Carla McNair, and I am 31. I am happily single. As far as my marital status, I do have a boyfriend. Yes. So yeah, I'm a social worker here in Durham, and yeah, I don't know what all you want me to share, but that's me.
That's you.
Well, hello, Thursday Love family and friends. I am Stephen Colonel, 33 years old. Had to think about it.
Wow.
And I'm just here as a help, and I'm here as a friend, a big brother, uncle, nephew, whatever y'all want me to call me. And yeah, hallelujah.
Big brother.
Yeah, big brother.
Big brother
Oh yeah, this let me see.
Carla, he said y'all went to school together. Did y'all really go to school together?
You ain't believe him? Yeah, we did.
Don't believe Stephen when he doing praise and worship.
And look, I be skeptical sometimes myself.
Yes, we did.
Yep. Riverside High School. Good old Riverside High School.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow. Oh, small world, right? So Carla, you were born and raised in Durham?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Born and raised in Durham. Oh wow.
Yep.
Well, I know they went to school, but that don't necessarily mean she was born and raised there. She could have just transferred to high school. Don't act like that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Man, whatever. Whatever. God, no.
Oh, God.
I tell you. All right. So, you want to start off with the first question of the night?
He's
okay.
crazy.
All right. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the church. I'm gonna start with the church thing because both of y'all are in church. Now, Carla, what positions do you hold in church?
I'm on the dance ministry.
Oh,
Yep, I'm on the dance ministry. I help out in sound and media, as well. Outreach. Yep, kind of wherever they need me to be.
So what church do you attend?
One Love Christian Church.
One Love.
Mhm.
Oh, you go to the Pittsburgh
Yeah.
One Love.
So did you grow up in church?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You grew up in church. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
First grade. Got you. Cool.
Okay, so Stephen, the same for you.
Wherever I fit in. I'll just say that. I'm pretty much everywhere.
Pre-beard.
Right. Let's see. Born and raised in church. At my current church, Word Empowerment Church. I serve on the music ministry. I'm an armor bearer, adjutant, whatever you want to call me. A minister. And hey, altar work, whatever y'all need me to do, I'm there.
Steven, make sure the pastor don't go thirsty.
Pretty much.
Okay. Oh, I can switch this.
Oh, we can switch up.
I'm still learning, y'all. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah,
put color on the
spotlight.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So, okay, so we'll talk about that then first. And since y'all grew up in church, I didn't. TJ grew up in church or whatever. And so y'all hold positions, y'all own ministries or auxiliaries, as they would say. So when Stephen was up here last time, I pulled Stephen in back in, I think October or November. I want to say November. And we did a couple of weeks and we talked about different things surrounding singles. And one of the main things Stephen pointed out was that there's hardly any single ministries out there anymore. And if so, the singles are not really catered to. It's more so for the younger crowd and not more so for the young adults and so forth and so forth. I mean, Stephen, if I'm wrong, just clear me up on it.
He was saying that they have it for the youth, they have it for the young adults, but it's that 30.
Yeah, that 30. Okay, there we go.
That 30 to that 40 spot is usually, or 30 to like 45 really.
Yeah.
Is that 11 out spot, and then they have what you call it, the old folks.
Yeah,
the older. So it's that 30 to 30, 40, that 30 to 45 who just left out there by themselves.
Okay, cool. So with that being said, what is your opinion on it? So growing up in church and now you're a young adult, I think they consider you the millennial. I don't get caught up in those titles, but y'all about to be out of the.
I'm still in there for as long as I can be in.
So how do you feel about that? What have you seen and what are your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel about single ministries and so forth? Even that you're dating, you know what I'm saying? How do you feel about all that? Do you feel like they cater to the singles anymore? Are they used to? Are they still do? What do you see? What is your perception?
Yeah, I mean, I would agree. Definitely not much. I think it's still pretty, I don't know, like I think the whole just Christian young people being single, want to be prepared for marriage or to date, it's like so taboo. It's like it's almost like nobody wants to really talk about it. Nobody really wants to cater to us. So yeah, I would agree. You definitely have a lot of things for people that are married, and then sometimes if you do have things for singles, you're kind of grouped in with maybe people who are divorced, so you still can't really relate. And so yeah, I would completely agree that it's definitely really not much there for us.
I have a question. Being that you're still young, and they said it's like since you're still young, what would you like this? Like, what would you like to see? You know what I'm saying? For your age group in church.
Yeah.
What would motivate you, or what I'm saying? What would you like to see? And we're gonna come to you too, Steve. What would you like? We didn't ask you that question last time. What would you like to see?
I would like to see more people my age, being in different, I guess, leadership, right, positions, or being able to be used. I think that for my age group, some people still feel like maybe we're not experienced enough, or aren't, just aren't as mature, maybe, and so they don't really use us to our ability, or they only want to use us like to volunteer, or to do things of that sort, but they don't really want to give you the opportunity to really walk in your gift. And I mean, just as far as like just singles, I would really love to see people my age that are married kind of giving back to those of us that are currently single. Like, you're married and you're young, so I just kind of would love to see how that works for someone who's in that position, the same age group as I'm in.
Yeah.
Within
the yeah.
I mean, but honestly, at 30, y'all not old, y'all are young. But at 30 years old, honestly, you have experienced more than 18, 19, 20, 25-year-old. really, honestly, by 30 years old, you should be operating your gift. You know what I mean? Like, because you had your 18s to, I'll say 18 to 29 to practice it. You know what I mean? Well, you're still gonna be developing no matter what, but like by that time you should be, or should be used in that area where, you know what I'm saying, you can whatever, preside, or head an auxiliary, or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, where you're trusted on with a well trusted responsibility, you know what I'm saying? More than just, honestly, I mean, you're not old, but at 30 years old, you know, you really don't want to be standing out in the cold passing out, you know, flyers. You want to be telling them, hey, you need to stand in this area, you need to stand in that area. You know what I'm saying? You're still young, but you know, I get it. You want to what's the word? You want to not say flourish, but be what's the word? I don't know what I want to use. I don't know. I don't know the word I want to use, but more. But I just want to use more. Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, you want to grow, but you want people to help you and help you mature, not just say, "Oh, you know, yeah."
You should at that time. I know what you're saying. Either mentored. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? A lot of us. I mean, I can still say I'm 42 and I still look to be mentored. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I didn't grow up in church, but when I came to church, I was like 22, and so from 22 to now, so that's 20 years now. I've been looking for that mentor, someone to help me grow in the giftings that I have or flourish in certain areas. Because yes, the pastor's going to preach the word. That's his or her assignment. That's what they said. They're supposed to feed us, but then to actually mentor us in other things, as you say, in other auxiliaries and situations in the church. How do we get mentored or trained in those areas?
Yeah.
Oh, Steve's supposed to comment though.
Oh, but okay. Then I have a just something just popped in my mind. Well, I'm gonna ask you. So, Carla, have you like? So this is a heavy, because it's a heavy thing in your heart. I can see that. Have you like voiced this with your pastor to say, hey, you know, I love doing sound. You know, I love doing all of these things, but have you voiced to him how you feel concerning the lack thereof concerning your age group and the spiritual opportunities, the lack thereof, you know, for your age? Maybe because maybe you can head that, you know what I'm saying, within the ministry. And
that's why I haven't said anything. That's it. You on it tonight, okay?
You know what?
You are on it. That's why I have not said anything. Yeah, I haven't pushed it because I don't know if that's what I want to do. I just know that it's needed. I do, however, believe my pastor feels that's what I should do. But yeah, so that's why I haven't.
Don't talk to me too long, but you ask Stephen, don't talk to me too long, but I start picking stuff in the spirit. Stephen don't like it.
We can go on.
Dude, get out my face.
I'm sitting here enjoying the conversation. Y'all go ahead.
It's your turn, Lamar. Let's go.
So, just in my 33 years of living, like, and being in church, I've always noticed the disconnect between the singles and the church, period. We love God. We love the word. We love the gatherings of the saints. However, there's still a barrier that we can't seem to cross, or we can't seem to break through. Single men are few and far and in between in the church. That's just the nature of the beast. Single men have not been a part of the church in a long time. And if they are, they may come a couple Sundays, may not be for them, and then they leave. I've seen it, right? So a lot of the times, as millennials, the church, they want our strength, but not our brain.
Yeah.
They want our strength, but not our brain. And by that, I mean they would rather us do the work, but not ask us, how do we achieve the goal?
Wow.
And so we are then left to our own devices, and then at that point, frustration sets in, anger sets in, confusion sets in, just being unstable sets in, all that stuff sets in on our hearts and our minds, and it causes us to break away from the church, leave the church, because we're not satisfied. We don't get what we want, so we leave. So I do feel that there is a huge disconnect. And then if you have a singles ministry, it's headed by a woman.
Yes.
A woman can't tell a single man how to be single. She can tell you how to be holy. She can tell you how to live holy. She can preach the word to you all day long, but she can't tell you how to be a single man. And that's where you have the biggest disconnect. Say that again.
That's a single fact.
I've seen that. So I would prefer a married couple nurture the singles. I would prefer a husband and a wife who have a stable marriage, who are have been through rough patches, have had their issues, isms and schisms, but can teach a single person how to live a fulfilled life as a single person.
Yeah.
So that's just my 2 cents.
Now that's the first I've heard of that. I've never heard, because most people want single, because you know how they's like, if you've never been down that road, you can't tell them how to get there. But most of the time when they refer that to the singles ministry, I've always seen them pick someone who is single but maybe older. And as you said, it's a female. I had a question and I lost it. There it goes. My age is telling on me. There you go.
She got a spirit in here. These thoughts are just leaving her head, especially 42.
I mean, well, can I say something else?
It was a major statement. I got my question. I got it back.
So hold
I got mine. Let me go first.
I'm so weak.
You can't teach me how to be a man.
But you can't teach me how not to say what I got to say because I'm about to say it. This is our rough patch. So, so we are African Americans or Black or whatever you want to call it. Would you say this is predominantly in the African American church? The reason why I'm bringing this up, because a lot of times we tend to only reflect on what we've seen in the past years. And today on Facebook, I tend to skim through and I noticed that a certain apostle was venting about the Black church and how we have so much trauma in the Black church and what we do to each other. And I'm like, do you ever visit any Christian contemporary white people churches, Latino churches? Because the same things happen in these churches. And I sit and wonder, is our perspective only coming from the African American church, and this is what we see when it comes to the singles ministry?
So yes, and I'll say this: all people don't have traumatic experiences with church,
right?
And so it bothers me that there are so many people that say, well, the church is so traumatic. There's so much trauma in the church. Church hurt this, church hurt that. That's not everybody's testimony. Everybody has not been hurt by a leader. Everybody has not been hurt by the people of a church. So when we go online and spew those things, it then turns a negative eye and ear to the church. And I was reading Deidre's comment, and I'm going to just segue into this real quick.
Okay, go ahead. I'll show it back again. I'll put it back up there. Go ahead. It's up there.
So Deidre said that people were bitterly single that were leading the singles ministries. And that is super true, because it's always the divorce say that he led the singles ministry, trying to come back and say that this is what you need to do. No. Hold on. You in the same boat with me now. So let's be single together. Let's get this healing together. Let's progress together. You can't tell me how to be single when you still mad that Larry left you, or Susan cheated on you with the mailman. You can't teach me that, because you're still bitter at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just okay. All right.
I agree. Even Rick said, I agree with married couples guidance, and that's the thing. Like, I think also, I think too, for singles, especially within the church, I think some of them have seen bad examples of married couples also.
Yeah.
Because some people who are in their 30s or whatever, some of them want to get married, but then some of them are scared to get married because of the example that they've seen, not outside of the church, but of married couples within the church. And I think some of them say, well, look, if that's how marriage is going to be inside the church, I don't want to be married. I'll be single forever. You know what I'm saying? But I do agree that I think that this age group should be mentored or held by. Here's what I'll say: needs to be headed by someone who's a married couple, but as Carla was saying, mentor someone within the singles group to be able to head that group,
Right.
so that the married couples are still not being the head over the entire time. Because what I do believe and what I do lack, what I believe lacks, is your age group is left. You're left to fend for yourself.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
Yeah.
you assume that you know some people, some people or some leaders or whatever, some leaders are not good. They're not well at actually sitting you down to train you step by step. They just say, watch what I do, and then you learn. But see, everybody doesn't learn that way. We all learn differently. There's some people who can watch what you do and pick on, but then there's some people who need that step by step.
Yeah.
You know, and I do believe that for your age group, yeah, you're the perfect. You're at a perfect place, perfect age to be mentored, because you've hopefully, well, usually with men we mature a little later than women. That's the truth. But still, by that age, you have gone through a whole lot of the hooks and crooks that you should have gone through, and more likely correcting mistakes that you would have gone through in your 20s. You know what I'm saying? So you're at a age where you can or not make the same mistakes as somebody in their 20s. And actually, you should be trained to go beyond that person in their 40s and beyond that person. Like Jesus said, Jesus is like, he told them, he said, greater things than these shall you do. You know what I'm saying? So my age, is, I don't care, I'm 43. We should be training those who are in their 30s to be better. Look, don't make these same mistakes that I made, you know what I'm saying, in my 30s. You know what I'm saying? Look, go in a different direction. I guess the other flip side is, and this is just I'm just throwing it out, just a devil's advocate. I would also say that some of the trepidation, you hear that word, girl? It's a nice word. Some of the trepidation, and thank you, y'all, thank you. Some of the trepidation, though, is that some of them are afraid that your age group is not going to listen to what they're saying too, because I've seen where they say that you guys, the millennials, think they know everything. You know what I'm saying? I said devil's advocate. Look at them all. Yeah, because they say, because they say that you guys think that you know it all. But on the flip side of that too, what I say is, I'm 43, so a lot of the new stuff I should know, but I don't know. But the thing is, I'm not afraid now, because I bumped my head so much. I'm not afraid to say that I don't know it. But I also recognize that you guys know it. So instead of me acting like I know everything, I'm going to come to the ones, which is your age group, who knows it, to learn from you, as well as you being able to learn from me, which means we both get to grow together, because I don't act like I know everything. You guys don't act like you know everything. We both listen to what each other has to say, and we both grow together.
Okay.
But again, to my point earlier, Carla, you can agree with this. All leaders aren't like this.
Nope.
As I said before, they want our strength, our vigor, our zeal, the compassion that we have for people, but not our brains.
Yep.
You want everything before the brain, like you want everything besides the brain. Because if you get the brain, or get to the brain to actually hear us talk and see how we operate, then you'll feel that we're trying to take your place. And that's not the case.
Right.
We just want to help.
That's insecurity.
We just want to assist.
Yeah, that's insecurity on. To me, that's insecurity on whoever that person is. Because if you're so insecure that you think a 30, but and be honest with you, you guys are supposed to take our place. That's why you're supposed to be groomed, because I'm 43, Sherrie is 42. In a sense, we old as far as I'm being honest.
As far as responsibility.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you are supposed to take our place, and we are supposed to train you to take our place. You know what I'm saying? And then when the time is right to pass the reins over, and I do believe that it's to the point where some are afraid to pass the reins over, because they feel like they will be they feel like they're going to be replaced, or they feel like they're not going to be, what's the word I want to use? Not effective, but not appreciated. They feel like they're going to fade away. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not important anymore.
Yeah.
They're not of value.
They're not of value.
Okay.
You know,
They don't have
so
a purpose.
But then that speaks to the insecurity though.
yeah,
So
Because they
at
are.
that point, which is not something that we as millennials can control. We
Right.
can't tell you how to feel. We can't tell you how to. We can show you how to move, but we can't get into your brain and tell you how to feel.
you need to
Just
teach
because I
Cashapp.
might
I
do
am.
something,
I'm
we
sorry.
might get to the same
You need to
point.
teach Cashapp.
I'm sorry. Apostle said if you old, then she ancient.
You're not ancient. You're just very, very, very polished.
Oh no.
Okay, so this we're not gonna sit and talk about church all night because we really can go into that. Because once again, this thing is bigger than us.
Yeah.
I do agree that we have to find a way to speak up and be very more present. Not just this generation, but our generation. I think for those that are up here, I think hey, we try to sometimes we try to separate Thursday Love from RTP, but it's kind of hard. But you know, Pastor TJ for Restoration Tabernacle of Praise, that's our church. And our theme is restore, mend, and bridge. And that last part is bridge the gap. And the thing is, our goal is to initially bridge the gap in so many different areas. And one of the areas is the communication piece between different generations.
Yeah.
And so, you know, no, everybody is not like that. You have your pastor. How can you get to know? I just want to leave this nugget and then I want to move on. How do you get to know your pastor? Your pastor gets to know you, and you find a way to bridge that gap to make the ministry effective. Because I have a best friend that's up here. She's in charge of a single ministry. Yes, she's a female, and she's older. And she's never been married. So the thing is, how do you do that? Because you do have young people who love being single. They don't desire to be married. Then you have some that are single who desire to be married. And then you have those who are widowed or divorced and then are newly found single again. And you know, and that could be from 20, 30 something, I don't know, 70 something. How do I reach those people? And so I think I encourage you, those that are up here, whether you be a pastor, lay member, or minister, whatever, to find a way to bridge that gap and communicate with our singles, because our singles have a lot to say. Our singles are not lost and forgotten people. You know what I'm saying? They are the ones that are moving our ministry to the next level. And so we have to find a way to mentor them, pour into them, and then not only that, receive and learn from them as well. And it's really like a give and take.
Yeah.
And so I just want to say that piece because I want to say this is living our best life and just about church.
I say you guys too. Voice your opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Voice if you feel this way. And since Carla says you don't want to, head the ministry, email or card. Tell a friend. I mean, sing a song or put it in the sound system, put it on the screen. Like, voice how you feel because what you don't want to sit within whatever ministry it is and feel that way, and the pastor or whoever is in charge not know that because when it comes to prophecy, you only know what God tells you. You know what I'm saying? Prophecy is not my reading. They just hear from God and say what He says when He says to say it. But if that's how you feel, voice your opinion because there is greatness in you. You know what I'm saying? But don't just sit there and let it die in you. You know what I'm saying? When it come out.
As Prophet Hall, closed mouth.
Don't get failed.
Oh yeah.
Push it.
So yeah. So living my best life.
You just said you had a question.
DJ had a question. I'm sorry. She said, "How do you voice it without being asked to do it?" Yeah, Carla, you want to chime in with that?
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think it's important. Well, I'm learning that it's important to be upfront. It's okay if you don't feel that it's your lane. It's okay. You want this ministry or you want, whatever this is in your church, but it's good to just say, this is what I'm desiring to see within this ministry. This will help me grow, but I want to stay in my lane. And I don't believe my lane is to lead this ministry. Maybe it's to just be of help, to the ministry. But this is what I need, you can't lead in it if that's what you're starving for. So I think it's important to just,
Say that again was good. I don't think y'all heard that. Say that again. I felt my skin stood up. My hair stood up on my skin. Say that again.
You can't lead in something that you're starving for. If you're starving for it, how can you tell someone else how to mature in that thing or how to get it or teach anybody, about it? So just be upfront and just say, this is what I need to grow.
I love that. You can't lead
if you're starving.
If you're starving for. Yes, Lord.
Lord.
Let me find out you got a little preach in you.
Okay. I feel God in this place.
No.
That was good.
Well, that's right, Alicia. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I might post that, Carla. I ain't gonna give you no credit for it.
You got it. It's your show.
Stevie, you want to chime? I don't know how you come behind that, but you want to chime in?
Next question, please.
Yeah. You can't leave some. You can take that for a preaching tagline. You can't leave something. I know that's all. All right, go ahead. Next question.
So, living my best life. What does living my best life looks like for Carla?
For me, living my best life is being happy, content, comfortable with who Carla is, doing what I love, and honestly, not having to explain why I love it or why I'm doing it. Doing it because I love it, because it feeds my soul or my passion or whatever. Living my best life, coming and going as I please when I want to, doing what I want to do, and being happy about it. That's it.
Right. So, okay. So for those that are up here, if y'all want to chime in and y'all want to tell us what living my best life looks like for you, then great. Because for me, I can even say when I was single, it was that freedom. I love that freedom of being able to come and go and do as I please. But also, I won't say things I want in the church. So I did a lot more. But for someone who don't know what living my best life looks like, have you ever been in a place where it didn't look like your best life? And how, what did you feel? How did you go through it? And how did you get to the place of now I am living my best life? He did not when I want to. I know that's right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely think it was a point where I was not living my best life. And I feel like for me, it was trying to do so much to hit a timeline of, I have to do this by this age or do that by this, that age. And it's pressure. It's pressure. Or constantly trying to appease people, It's pressure. It's heavy. And so, I don't know, I guess I kind of feel like it was a point where there was like a mental and emotional freedom for me that just kind of, gave me the push to just live my life and enjoy it.
Okay. Colonel?
Pretty much what Carla said. I mean, when you experience bondage for so long and you finally come into who you are and the chains are broken, the disappointment, the hurt, the fear, all of that stuff is dismissed, that's when you begin to live your best life. When you can forget about the opinions and the voices of other people that don't necessarily empower you to be better and do better, that's when your best life starts. People always say life starts at 30, and that's literally when life started for me. 30. When I turned 30, I began to live like whole. Like I was whole when I began to live. And so it just, when I realized I hit a wall at 29, I literally hit a wall within my mental and emotional state. And I couldn't figure out why the wall was there.
Right.
And being in the church, I prayed to figure out what this wall was.
Right.
and the wall was literally other people's view of who I was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I asked God to like relieve me of all that was stressing me out and causing me to just feel certain ways, that the wall was broken down and I was able to live in the freedom of who I am. So that's the best life part for me.
So Alnita, she put up two statements. She said, one of them, she says, having a balance and not being ran ragged with the church duties because I'm single. And the last one she said was, single doesn't mean available 24/7, 365. And that's the thing. So during my generation, you know, we were raised where every time the church doors open, you had to be there. You know, and if you won't there every time the church doors open, then you were living in sin.
Yeah.
And going to hell.
Going to hell.
Yeah, and going straight to hell.
For a while, I mean, I get the concept because, you know, there is a lot of temptation outside of the church. But as I got older, I also realized that there's a lot of temptation in the church too. So it's in both places. You have to make up your mind whether or not you're going to live holy in church or outside of church. But I also got to the point where I realized, okay, I said, look, man, if I don't come to church this Sunday, that don't mean I ain't saved. That means I just need to take a break. It's like working at a job all the time. You're always at the job, always. Sometimes you need to take a break to. It's not like you don't love Jesus because he's in your heart, but you need to take a time. Like Jesus did that, man. Jesus was always around the people, but Jesus also knew when to steal away too. You know what I'm saying? And get by himself and just do some things that he wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I feel like. You know, it's okay. It's okay to not be in church on a Sunday. You know, I'm not gonna say make it a habit where you go for a whole month, 2 months, but it's okay to not do that as long as you still keep your relationship with Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you don't have to feel guilty about it, even though, you know, they make you feel guilty. Well, you ain't singing praise and worship this Sunday. So you backslided. No, I need a break. My voice is tired. My body is tired. I'm tired of learning this. I'm tired of listening to this song. I don't want to listen to no music. I don't want to listen to nothing. All I want to listen to is nothing.
I definitely got that text.
But when I got to that point, that, like I said, that's where my freedom came, because I was like, yo, I don't have to be held hostage and bound to what you think I should do. The only one I need to ask you really is Jesus Christ. Now I'm going to respect you as my leader or whatever the case is, because I told God that, you know, and I made that vow that, you know, you're going to be the person that covers me. But at the same time, it's okay to get away and chill and go to the beach. I ain't gonna say go to Vegas to the strip club, but I'm saying to get away, go to the beach. You know what I'm saying? Or it's okay to go to Vegas as long as you do what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Right. I was gonna say, because I went to Vegas and
no. I'm going to Vegas, buddy. I'm going there, but I'm going there with Sherrie though, so that's a different story. I don't trust. I love Jesus, and he's my Savior. I don't trust myself going to Vegas by myself. I know me. Yes, I do, Lord. I'm going there with Sherrie.
Well, ain't nothing open but the casino and the mall, so you be all right.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like y'all hear how that sound? Okay, all right.
I'm joking. I know this woman on my right side.
Yeah, I'm going to Vegas with Sherrie. Okay. It seems like a lot of people up here is they talk about living in church. I was trying to get away from church, but I guess we got mostly church babies up here. I can't quite testify. Yeah, a lot of them said it felt like pressure. A lot of them says that that they seem like they lived in church, which y'all been talking about. They lived in church. I don't know nothing about that.
I do.
So
Bible band. You got church on Sunday. Well, for us, we used to get to church. Well, no, we had Sunday school, so we got there early, like 10 o'clock. Service started at 11. They wanted to shout and cast out demons. We get out of church darn near 3 o'clock. And we've been in there for 10. And then my mama was a Sunday school teacher, so I couldn't skip Sunday school. So it was like that my whole time until I left to come to college. And by the time I literally had a bad taste in my mouth because of what I had saw going on. And so I only had one service, and it was that's what I was playing. But then God did some things or whatever. But I just realized that, you know, yo, you can live, there's a life outside of just church. You know what I'm saying? Just
Yeah.
the four walls of it. And you need to experience it because I honestly, this is why I think you need to experience it. I think you need to experience it because it makes you a better Christian. It makes you more well-rounded than only having. I mean, I taught Bible study on Wednesday last night. I was talking about how you need to get outside of your bubble. You know, and when you're always in church, you're just in that church bubble, and you have no clue of what's going on around you until you actually not go out there and do crazy stuff, but just sometimes just experience life outside of the
Yeah.
four.
Yeah. So, so a lot of people talk about when they get to their 30s. Stephen, you mentioned it. Carla, you mentioned it.
Dirty
I
30.
can honestly say the same thing too. It's kind of like when you hit that new decade, that new 10-year mark. You know, it's like a refreshing. But it sounds like in your 20s, like for most people up here, you're still trying to figure out who you are. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to sense your own identity, and the thing is, when you hit 30, you get some type of sense of awakening. But even in your 30s, you're still trying to figure it all out because it's like you're always evolving and you're always changing. Someone gave me advice and said, when you hit your 30s, it's going to be another level. When you hit your 40s, it's going to be another level, and so on and so on. Each decade brings on a new level of responsibility, maturation. Yeah, that too. You know what I'm saying? It's always going to be evolving. Things that you like now may not be things that you liked 10 years ago. You know, you're always going through changes, but to learn your self-worth and your self-value, that is something amazing. And that's the thing is that you're learning to come into who you are. And that's what I think one of the best parts about living your best life is learning who you are, your own identity. The thing is, the road to that is not easy. The journey to that is not easy. And I think that's what I was trying to get to for those that are up here, because some people still trying to figure it out. Who am I? They still worried about other people's opinions and what people think of them and how people view them and stuff like that. How did you get to that path? You know what I'm saying? If you want to go into detail, you can. I can honestly say that I have been hurt and let down by friends. And then some things that were not communicated or misunderstood, friendships have been broken up. And so I learned to accept, like I had issues growing up with people calling me dark, you know what I'm saying? And so, but now I've learned to appreciate my darkness, you know what I'm saying? I cut my hair off at the age of 42, and which I said I would never do in my life. But I had to reach that point to say I really don't care what other people think, and honestly, it's a decision that I don't regret. I love my hair. I love how I look with this hair. So, Susan, Carla, for those that are out there, if you have a testimony, what are those things? What was those things that kind of catapulted you to that point to say, here I am, and I like where I'm at. I like who I am. I love what I see.
Well, for me, my 18 to 20s, whatever, 23, 24 was experimental time. Like, I did everything. I was at, clubs, bars, all that stuff. Like, I was partying. So what?
Taking pictures of Fantasia.
Yeah. I was. But I mean, I was doing everything. Like, I was everywhere. And I was with all different types of people. And I felt out of place. I was always out of place. Like, it just felt weird being in these situations. Now, granted, I love a good party, good music, all that stuff, but I just felt out of place. And so my 20s were very, very weird years for me. I was always in church, but I always had like a party or something to do after church, you know what I'm saying? But it was just a weird time for me because I was trying to figure out where in life I was, who I was, why I was going through these things, or why I was, doing what I was doing. Nothing crazy, nothing bad. But it was always just an experimental time for me. But then I came into the understanding of, okay, this is life, but you don't have to live it in experiment mode. Find something and solidify it. Like, find something and do something other than an experiment with life. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, and so when I came into that understanding of life is more to than being on the social scenes and doing this and doing that, it just became more fun. And I was traveling. I was, taking staycations and doing stuff for myself, just doing stuff alone. And I was okay with it. I
Right.
was okay with that kind of thing as
Right.
a single person. Because, you know, most singles in they, you know, 20s and 30s, they ready to, you know, and excuse me for saying this, they ready to hump and
Yeah.
smoke and drink and hang out and do all these things and meet all these different people. I wasn't doing all of that. I wasn't ready for all of that. Like, that wasn't my thing.
Right.
And so I just understood that there was something beyond that. And that was just living.
Right.
So that's my 2 cents.
All right, Carla.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to some of that. I think though what's funny is for me, it was kind of the opposite. So I was in church feeling out of place. And because that's all that I knew. That's all that I knew. I never went to the club. I didn't go to parties. I couldn't even, I mean, my parents wouldn't allow me to go to parties. So when I got into college, you know, it was just like, I don't even need to go. I mean, what am I missing out on? I mean, I don't know. It was just like, it doesn't even matter. I mean, I couldn't listen to any secular music. I can't tell you how many CDs my mama had broken in half. Like, so for me, being in church, like in my 20s, I felt out of place in church. And that for me was like, what is this? This is supposed to be my safe place, right? Like, this is supposed to be where I'm comfortable, but it wasn't. And so for me, I broke away. You know, I went to school. I really didn't go to church as much. And then when I graduated, I actually left my home church because going back just reminded me, unfortunately, I love those people, but it reminded me of just being stuck and kind of being like in bondage almost. And so I just felt like I had to break away to kind of find my own. What does my own relationship with Christ look like? What does that mean for me? And I think that's kind of the difficult part about being a church baby. You're not just trying to figure out your identity just as Carla, but you're trying to figure out your identity like in Christ. Does that mean I have to go to church every Sunday? Does that mean that, you know, I can just chill, but I still got my relationship with Christ? What are my thought processes about like just regular everyday stuff, growing up, relationships? I mean, you're trying to figure out so many different aspects of your life. And so for me, it was just coming to a point where, one, I just figured out my relationship with God for myself, not anybody else. And then just realizing, like I said earlier, not having to appease people was it for me. Like realizing I don't have to live my life to prove myself to anybody or to be held at a certain standard. It's still difficult sometimes, but coming into the knowledge and the light of understanding this is Carla's life.
Yes.
You know, it's mine. So I think for me, just taking control and taking like authority over my life and what I wanted it to look like.
Right. And it's funny how that transition not only plays just with you, but if you think about it, that transition plays in church, in your home, at school, that transition, because, you know, you're still at an age, you're in a funny place because you're still looking to be mentored. You're looking still to be trained somewhat because you don't know everything. But yet you're still in another place where you've matured enough to say, I can't own up to some things. I can't take control of some things. And so it's a great experience, but it's a weird feeling at the same time. So
which is why I now understand why a lot of people don't deal with your age group, because in order to dealing with the young people, dealing with the 18, well, you're still young, but dealing with 18 and 20 something, you can tell them anything and they'll believe it. Exactly. But your age group, you've been through stuff. So it's kind of like how it is now when you tell somebody about the Bible, you can't just tell them this is what the Bible said. You got to show them. And your age group, you have to show them, like, you literally have to show you guys, you know, you're not dumb. You're not going to believe well, I can't say how they used to say it, but you're not going to believe that doo-doos don't stink. You know what I'm saying? Because they do. You know, well, yeah, I can say it. But that's the thing. You guys are more mature. So you have to come to you guys correct. And it goes back to, it still does. It goes back to the insecurity. they're not secure enough to be able to help guide your age group to where they need to be because they have to come correct. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times, especially with scriptures and stuff like that, we'll just say anything and let's expect people to believe it. But for your age, you have to look. Do you really know what you're talking about? Because I got to see that you know what you're talking about before I'm going to follow you. You know what I'm saying? And we should not be intimidated by. You guys help us to become better.
Yeah.
And that's the you push us to become better. It comes to the insecure. It comes across like you say, it comes across as if you're trying to take our place. But no, I'm trying to help you to become better so you can help me become better. We help one another become better. You know what I'm saying? And most look at it as that you're trying to be pushy. You're trying to tell me what to do. No. I'm trying to become. You said it.
You're questioning me. You're questioning everything I say. Yeah.
And you said it best earlier, Carla. You know, I forgot what I was going to say. Thank you, Sherrie. But anyway, it's petty y'all when you get past 40. But anyway, yeah. Bottom line is you got to come correct. And you guys really, your age group I think, is one of the best age groups to work with.
Oh yeah.
Because you help me stay relevant, but you help me grow. You help me continue to push to learn more. You help me realize that what I know is not enough. There's more to learn, you know, as well as what I learned, I teach you guys what I learned. You know what I'm saying? It's what is it? Each one, reach one. The more I learn, the more like you were saying about giving back, like you're saying about the marriage couple, Carla, about the marriage couples giving back to those singles. Look, this is what I've learned. You helped me learn this, and this is what I've learned. So now that I'm able to teach you, you don't have to go through this same thing. You can go around it because you now know, you know. So yeah, you guys are a perfect age group to work with.
Yeah.
And I think to that point though, millennials are sponges.
Yeah.
We're looking to soak up all the knowledge we can. It's not that we're trying to take anyone's place at all right now.
Right.
We know that the more knowledge we get, the further it's going to take us, right? And so if we're in church trying to learn how to be single, how to do singleness the right way,
right,
that's all we're doing.
Yeah.
We don't care about anything else. We want to learn how to do this right? Because we grew up in the age where we had directions for everything, and if we missed one step, it was going to mess everything else up.
Yeah.
Right. So if we're asking questions, if we're learning, don't think we're being disrespectful, because we're not. We just want to grow. We want to soak up all the knowledge we can get. So when we do hit 40 or 45, we'll be able to establish something else that you taught us, right?
Why you skip between 41 and 44? 40 and 45.
All those 40s.
Because 45 is for real. 45 is when life picked back up.
And then the thing too, man, in your 30s, you're still gonna make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? No matter what, in your 40s, did I say 40s? In your 40s, Sherrie, you're still gonna make mistakes. You still make mistakes. But yeah, like I said, you guys it's a perfect. Why would you? I guess I would say, why would you not want your age group to be in leadership within the ministry? You know what I'm saying? Because you got your 20s, you got your 30s, you got your 40s. The 20s the teens are looking up to the 20s. And the 20s are looking up to the 30s. And the 30s should be able to look up to the 40s, and the 40s should be able to look up to the 50s. Each one should be able to look up to the other. But if you guys are left by the wayside, who are the 20s looking up to? They're looking up to the 50s. They missed that whole how to live. Y'all just said it. They missing that whole how to live. You know what I'm saying? So really, without your age group, here it is. Your age group really is the missing link within the church.
Right.
Your age group is why your age group. I don't care if any pastors up here your age group is the reason why the church falls apart, because you guys are left. There's nobody to hold. You like that meat inside the bun. You got the youth and you got the old, but then the 30s through that 45, it's that meat in that bun, in that sandwich. So without you guys, it falls apart. Yeah. And then they want to beat up on it. Then you guys are beat up on because you think you know everything, and so, but you're not taking the time to teach me, to cater me, to show me how I should transition to my 40s. You know what I'm saying? So that's I get you. Maybe that's just my epiphany, but that's good, y'all.
Okay, so it's 10:06. Normally we only stay up here an hour. This is how good it's been. But then one last question, and then we're gonna get up out of here. So you mentioned relationships earlier, so I'm gonna bring this in. This is the last part. So living my best life, single and saved, but I'm in a relationship. How do I do that? How do I live my best life and I'm in a relationship? Do I desire to be married, or I'm just dating to be dating? Because I've also heard that millennials, that a lot of the reason why a lot of them are not married in the late 20s and early 30s, or in their whole set of 30s, is because because they're so knowledgeable, they know so much. They were told to get educated first. Don't be, break the generational curses and stuff like that. How do I live my best life when some of society is telling you just go out there and get educated and be an entrepreneur, own your own business, go for yours, get yours, especially for the women. And then, but then you have this other society, this other generation is like, well, I ain't got no babies yet. I ain't got no grandbabies yet. Y'all ain't married yet. How do you live your best life with all these norms and generational things going on and in a relationship? How do you have this conversation with your boyfriend? How do you have this conversation with your girlfriend? What do you talk about? Give us a snippet at least.
Don't tell her your business. Don't tell her your business. But church folk knows it.
And they are. Okay. Their family knows it.
Learn how to summarize. Learn how to hit some push, but don't hit it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, well, I mean,
no expository answers.
I feel like I'm trying to figure that out. To be completely honest, I do. I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out. Because I am a single who desires to be married. I don't feel that I'm graced to be single. For the rest of my life.
Right.
So I definitely desire to be married. And I am one of those who just knew, like no one could tell me any different, that I would be married by a certain age. I would have kids by a certain age. I never thought that I would be 31 and not married and not have kids. Like that was just what I desired. It was just what I knew, what I grew up around. And so it's been a journey. I mean, it's been a journey to become okay with living life and not having to be married by a certain point or kids by a certain point and realizing nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with me. I'm okay. And then having to tell people like family or friends that I'm okay. Nothing's wrong with me. You'll get your grandkids, you'll get your nieces and your nephews,
Right.
It's okay. I'm out here, I'm living a good life. I'm in a good relationship. And I think as far as that's concerned, I mean, thankfully, both of us want to be married. But both of us are in our 30s. He's 34. So both of us are kind of, getting into the groove of just being okay with the fact that we're not married yet and we don't, have kids, together and have this big family unit and whatnot. But honestly, I do think I'm still trying to journey through that.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay.
Arnold?
It just comes to a point to where you just have to accept what is. You accept what is, and that's it. And if you can't, then that's when life starts to pass you by because you're trying to live by a timeline. But at this point, accept what is, let the chips fall where they may, and live in the moment. You'll get married if it's your time. You'll be single forever if that's what God desires for you to have. But just live in the moment.
Right.
Don't be out here doing nothing crazy, but live in the moment.
Pick them chips up and play them.
Amen.
I'm joking. I'm not promoting gambling.
I am.
Pay my tithes. Sorry.
Jesus Christ. Well, it is 10:10, and
not 10:10.
I said 10:10.
10:10. When you get back? Go ahead.
Attention.
Hey, that's better. That's better.
I ain't studying you.
You don't need to.
It's just past my
You need to love
bedtime.
me.
But I want to thank you guys for coming on and sharing your life with us. Do you have any encouraging words to Carla and Stephen on living their best life? Even though Stephen's gonna be with us for the rest of the month, but I'm just saying, do you have any encouraging words?
No, y'all pretty much said it, man. I mean, your life is your life. You know, no one can tell you how to live your life. Yeah, no one can tell you how to live your life. I mean, you know Jesus. I mean, hearing you definitely got a relationship with God. Let him speak to you. Let him direct you. Like I said, if you feel as if you know that this what's lacking, you know, speak, voice your opinion. You know, say, hey, look, like you said it perfectly, Carla. You know, look, this is what I think is lacking. This is what I believe can help me out, help me grow, help me become better. You know, I don't think I'm the person for it. And honestly, it's not your job to find the person for it. But it is your job to voice your opinion about it. It could be the leader's job to see that there's a need and to make sure that need is met. You know what I'm saying? If they want you to remain a healthy believer, you know what I'm saying? It's for you because it's for your spiritual growth. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Not just your spiritual growth, but you can grow spiritually and grow naturally. So it's a duality. You know, and as far as relationship, hey, that comes when it comes. You know what I'm saying? The way it matriculates. I mean, me and Sherrie stayed. I'm not saying nobody has to do it, but me and Sherrie stayed. We dated for 6 years before we got married because of just some things I wanted to get in order. You know what I'm saying? We were young, but just because it was just me personally, because I wanted to make sure that when I got married, you know, I was able to provide in case whatever came. But that what works for us. You know, so do what works for you. You know what I'm saying? No one can tell you what works for you. Right. So that's what I would say. Live your best life. Yeah.
So for those that are up here, for those that were newcomers, I hope you continue to join us because Thursday Love is doing this all month. Next week we have 2 more amazing singles that are coming up here to discuss living their best life. On the 3rd week, we're going to have 2 more singles. And then on the very last week, we're going to have a female and a male. Both were married and now they're divorced and they're single again. So we're trying to kind of hit our points of view here. So for those that are free on Thursday nights at 9 o'clock, Facebook Live, chime in. And just my encouraging word, thank you, Stephen, and thank you, Carla, but just my encouraging word to you guys, you know, trying to find that just balance. Sometimes you have to go through a lot of hurt, a lot of trials and tribulations, the church word. You have to go through some situations, you know, you got to go through some mistakes, you know what I'm saying? And I think we all have to do that. But the great thing is that we have a God that guides us, and he as long as we're wanting better for ourselves, he's going to show us a better. Right. The thing is, you know, because of you guys and because of something you said tonight, y'all have encouraged someone or empowered someone to let them know that they can live their best life while they're single, while they're dating, engaged, and while they're married. It doesn't matter, but you have to learn how to live your best life. Because some people think single is a taboo, it's a bad word, and it's not. It's a great word. And I think, honestly, some people don't know how to embrace that season in their life. And if they knew how to embrace that season in their life, it would open the doors to so much more, not just for marriage, but just to anything else that they're looking forward to in life. So I thank you guys for those who have joined on tonight. We love you guys. For y'all who came on tonight, I enjoyed tonight. Thank y'all so much for participating.
Thank y'all.
Yeah.
You helped me.
So yeah, share this with your friends. We're coming up here next week. Share this. Bring more singles up. If you know someone that want to come up here and say their piece. If you want to come up here and talk about your single life and living your best life, let me know. I'll send you stream your link. So y'all have a great night. Have a great weekend and be safe.
Y'all be safe.
Bye.
Y'all have a good one.
You too.
Oh Lord, you forgot to tell them about the prayer call.
Thursday Love.